Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Boulder. We are so glad you're here this morning. We are going to start with a song. It's called God, You Are, and we'll have the lyrics up on the screen for you. So if you'd like to sing along, we welcome you to do that. And if you want to just sit and enjoy, you can do that as well.
Every ocean, God, you are. Every canyon, every inch of earth and sky, God, you are. Every morning. you are. Every springtime, God, you are. Every snowfall, God, you are. Every season, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. 'Cause you are the very breath I breathe. And your perfect love created me. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I know is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. Nice.
Thank you. Now, if you would stand up with me and turn and greet each other, say good morning, get each other's names, and welcome each other.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Boulder. I'm going to start things off with a few real quick announcements. First thing I want to do is I want to have our friend Bo Woods come on up here, and he's a co-director of our Sunday school downstairs. And he's got a quick announcement for you.
Good morning, everybody. Putting the calling out, we have opportunities. There are children to serve. There's spiritual food for you to gather there. If you're interested in volunteering with the youth program, either with the children or with the teens, we're going to have some pass-arounds circulated throughout service. Put your name and contact information down, and we'll get in touch with you. And if you're not here and you're watching on live streaming, we're calling out to you too. So get yourself involved with working with the kids. It's an amazing experience.
And that pass-around sheet is being passed around this room right now at this moment. So if you're interested, keep an eye out for it. Tonight we're having our monthly drum circle where it's drumming and chanting and meditation starting at 7 tonight. It goes from 7 to 9. It's $10. If you have a drum, bring it. If not, we have extra drums. So come on out for that tonight. It's a great time that we have every month, every second Sunday of the month. Let's see, also here, if you haven't had a chance, go check out our fellowship hall over here. We've redone the floor, both the dance floor area and the whole floor area with new hardwood. It's got a nice renewed look, and we're going to keep continuing what we're doing on the renovations in fellowship hall as money comes in to do so. Eventually we'll get to the kitchen, but go check out the kitchen right now. It looks fantastic. If you haven't been downstairs and seen our nursery in a while, go check our nursery. We've completely redone the whole thing. It is a beautiful room now. The whole downstairs is all well lit now, so if you just want to see what's going on downstairs, take a stroll while you're here. And finally, in 2 weeks, August 26th is our Welcome Back Sunday. And this is our big Sunday where we welcome everyone back from their summer vacations. It's the beginning of all our youth programs. So if you have children that have been coming, this is a great time to bring them back. We have a good time on this Sunday, great music. We're going to have a bounce castle. We're going to have a potluck following our second service. This is a great service. If you have a friend or a family member you've always wanted to bring here to Unity and have them give it a try, this would be a great one to bring them to and show them how awesome this place is that you already love. And now I'd just like to have Jack Groverland come on out here.
Let us take a few moments to reconnect with our reality, to become present right here in prayer. Let us realize I am beloved by God, right here and now, just as I am. Given the time and the space to grow at my own pace. Thus, I also accept myself just as I am, right here, right now, knowing I am beloved by God. And there is peace. I accept this moment just as it is, and there is peace. I accept the circumstances of life as they come to me, dealing with them with inner wisdom and love, knowing I am beloved by God. And there is peace. To this, I say, Amen.
Here I am, letting go of my fears, surrendering all, surrendering all. Find me here, God, as you draw me near. I'm ready for ready for you. I surrender. Heal my soul as mercy and grace unfold. I'm longing and ready. I'm longing and ready. With my heart wide, I know you hear my cry. Guide me now. Guide me now. I surrender. I surrender. I want to feel you more. I want to feel you more. I surrender. I surrender. I want to feel you more. I want to feel you more.
We're going to sing that again. We'd like you to sing with us.
Here 'cause mercy and grace I'm full, longing and ready, longing and ready. With my heart wide, I know you hear my cry. Guide me now, guide me now. I surrender, I surrender. I want to feel you more. I want to feel you more. I surrender, I surrender. I want to feel you more. I want to feel you more. Like a rushing wind, rising love within. Guide the way through me. Like a mighty storm, stir within my soul. Guide the way through me. Like a rushing wind, rising love within. Guide the way through me. Guide the storm, and the winds of my soul. Guide the way through me. Like a rushing storm, rising love within. Guide the way through me. Like a mighty storm, stir within my soul. Guide the way through me. Guide the way through me. I surrender, I surrender. I want to feel you more. I want to feel you more. I surrender, I surrender. I want to feel you more. I want to feel you more. I surrender.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity. Nice to see you all here. I just want to thank that incredible band and Sierra and Erna. Just amazing music. We have such talent in this center, I tell you what. I love that song. I love the I Surrender. You know, this has been a year where I think every book I've been reading has been on surrender and letting go of my idea of what life is supposed to be and tuning into what the Christ light wants for my life. And I find that I get happier and happier the more that I get into that neutrality and that surrender state of consciousness. Today, my talk is about how God can only do for you what God can do through you. And so we have to be that open vehicle, that open vessel, to be able to be a conduit for the kind of things, the kind of changes that we're seeking outside of ourselves to create. And this has really been brought on by a summer. I've done a major summer of travel. I unplugged from my work here, and I really took a lot less clients in my counseling here. I didn't have a lot of weddings and memorials. I really needed to just kind of undo, my life here and go find my life now. Some would say that I was going on an inner, journey, or some people would say I'm having a midlife crisis. One of them is happening, and I'm not sure which one. But I unplugged my phone, and I disconnected from the world, the steady busyness, the steady chatting of the world, and I'm very tuned in. Unfortunately, when I do leave here, people do have my cell phone number, and I'm the emergency contact if something's happening in this building, and we do rent this facility every single day, and at night, and so this place is hopping all the time. So it's really hard to get a dinner without the phone ringing, or just time to walk on our land and just chill and not have the phone, calling to us. And I've had to really analyze that for myself of, do I really want to be doing all this? I think it was really that kind of got me to go, I don't really want to be this, I don't know. I think the word is I don't want to be able to be found so easily, with the phone, with the emails, with the texting and the dinging. And, what part of my life did I decide that my privacy and my time with my family isn't the most crucial thing in my life? So I took this summer, took long years of savings to go take dream vacations that I've always wanted to take. And the last time I talked, I just came back from Ireland, and now I'm back from Malibu, which was an awesome trip to my brother's property. And he has an amazing property that you can just access the beach, and he has a pool, and it's really easy to relax there, and the phones were off, and the kids were playing, and it was just really, really wonderful. And I really was visiting this idea of God through us, and how can we get how can we quiet the mind of the world and all of the vessels that are tuning into us and plugging into our own physical psyches and spiritual bodies. What is my responsibility as a minister in this? And what is the responsibility of the parishioner? And how do I create a healthy boundary in this work? My father and my mother were always very good at that part. And they always say to me, the problem is that you're just so friendly and you really like people. And I am a very friendly person, and I kind of am a very curious person too. I don't like to be left out. I want to know, I want to be in the know. I've got that teenager behavior, it's like, I don't want to not know. So there's that part that I'm addicted to the phone because I also don't, but then I find myself overwhelmed. So I kind of get to this state. In this last year, there's been a lot of change in this center, and we've had the wonderful, opportunity to have my younger brother join us in this ministry, and now he's my co-minister with my father, and his wife joined us as the music director. And so there's all these wonderful, wonderful changes happening. But if you really look up, what change creates in your physical and spiritual body, it can feel a lot like grief. Because you go through the same changes when things are changing, right? Because what we have known all of our life, or I've known in the last 24 years working here with my parents, there's a certain way we did everything. And then you add these two brilliant minds to come, which we needed that refresher, that newness. And now everybody has to find what their role is. What is my part in this now? What is my singing part in this? What's Norma's? What's Jack's? And so trying to find peace in the midst of all this change really is forcing me to unplug the phone and unplug the computers, because I know that there's a great thing happening right now. But I'm also finding that my shadow work is also coming up. That roar of things that are unhealed in me are appearing because I'm not in my comfort zone, right? I don't have the default of the exact comforts that I always had. Everything's changing, and it's this awesome opportunity to start building a new lens and a new awareness for the next phase of my life. And while there's fears that come up, it's because there's unhealed things in me that come up. So when I turned my phone back on, I can tell you that it just started dinging and dinging and dinging and dinging and dinging and dinging. Now it's texts and voicemails and emails, and I listened to it, and it's like it never stops for 20 minutes, and I could feel the anxiety, building in me to each ding of you're needed, you're needed, you're needed, you're needed. And I just finally found myself in a peaceful place in neutrality, in a state of right here and now. I found a peace in the face of the storm, right? It's a good storm, but it's still a storm. It's not a crisis, but it's a change. And so there's this storm that's going on around me, and I've found this peaceful place in it. And then I got this fear that all this dinging, can I keep this peace? And also come up to what I'm called to do in this work. So I read a few of my texts, and one of them was, unfortunately, I got a really close friend that's been dealing with an illness that for 10 years now. She's my high school bestie, and she's been in ICU all summer. So there was immediate guilt that I haven't been able to be there for her. And then there was an announcement that somebody that I'm really close to that had a huge part in my upbringing is now facing Alzheimer's. It was so much bad news. The thing is, working in a church, there's so much good news, but life is balance, right? It's yin and yang, and there's phases where there's a lot of disappointments and difficulties, and there's phases where it's just pure joy, baptisms, weddings, and that. And you really learn about those spiritual seasons, and you realize that there's really a current to our lives where we really are very connected. And when we're all kind of down, we're all kind of down. And when we're all kind of up, we're all kind of up. And so that dinging wasn't just a bunch of different separate situations. I realized the dinging is everybody is in a similar state that I've been in, right? Everybody's been facing the kind of discord and changes, and we know in Unity when we're facing these discord and changes, it's a call for us to go deeper and to awaken and to evolve into the greater aspects of this spiritual being that we already are. But we've forgotten because we've been starting to look at the world and believing in the world and believing in the difficulties of the world. So I have a particular friend that I have been, seeing for years, and I've done some counseling, and he had a particular text that stood out to me. He was very disappointed that I was gone all summer, and didn't word it very nicely. And I found myself feeling really unseen by this person because I've been there. We've had this beautiful exchange for years and years and years. And there's kind of this guilt trip laid on me that I wasn't enough because I took this time, basically. He didn't word it that way, but I took this time. I basically been gallivanting around having vacations, right? It wasn't worded that way, but it had that kind of flair. And man, did I want to go plugging back about everything I've ever done for this person. And I just, and I had to be with it. I left it. I had to just not really respond to it. I responded a little bit to it. And I realized after a few days, I'd even talked to my husband, why is this bothering me so much? And I realized because there's a part of what was said in that text that I believed that I'm not good enough. Right? Something about that was saying, I'm not good enough. I'm not there for people enough. I'm not, because nothing can affect us, what people say to us, unless we have healed that shadow side of ourselves that says that we're anything less than perfect, anything less than God's child, anything less than healthy, anything less than powerful, anything less than magical, anything less than imaginative, like all of those beautiful things that we are. How can one person's statement stop me for 3 days and bother me so much? And so it comes down to, I'm always doing my talks on the shadow side, on vulnerability. Vulnerability is a big topic for me. Seeing through the lens of a child, right? The fun, effervescent child. And today, I watched a video that this friend had recommended by Brené Brown. And she did a talk on shame and guilt. It's a TED talk. And it's very, very good. It's very, very helpful. I'm bringing a little bit of it into this talk. But I realized that I am carrying some sort of shame that I'm not good enough. I've had that since as a little kid. I was born with that. I think it's some sort of karmic thing. I do believe in karmic contracts, and I think that I've carried something, because nothing in this lifetime ever hasn't said that I wasn't the most lovable creature on the planet, because I had parents that were like, what else? What else is amazing about you? Their whole life was building character and loving us and treating us and holding a space of growth and beauty. There's no reason why I should have this low sense of self-esteem, but that self-esteem has also gotten me in relationships that were abusive. Somewhere I had built things in my consciousness that said I wasn't enough. So I attracted things into my life that mirrored that truth. See, that's what the shadow does. The shadow is a very dangerous thing because there's parts of us that haven't healed it. And you'll find that your life does not stay easy and it doesn't stay rosy because of the very fact that things have to come into our life to create discord, to test us if we can stay in that neutral, powerful presence of peace, regardless of the fighting that's going on around us, or the hardship, or the world, or the chaos of our jobs, or whatever it is. Can you stay in this peaceful, powerful place, even when it's hitting the fan? Right? So that's an important question. So the truth is everybody has the cuts. Everybody's been cut in life. None of us actually are exempted from it. A lot of people live in the illusion that some people have been handed a better hand of life, like they had more wealthy parents, or they got to get to school and they didn't end up with whatever. We have all sorts of stories of why somebody else's life is better than others. And the truth is we actually have the power to create whatever life we've ever wanted. But we do have these things that are there, set in place, I believe, in divine order of God, to grow us. Because as one person wakes up, we all wake up, right? As one person faces their shadow and can tell the truth, like I'm saying in vulnerable ways to you right now, I sometimes don't feel like I'm enough. How many people feel that way? And for the rest of you, you're so blessed. I'm sure you have other things if you want to call it out. But I remember saying that to my husband. A big part of my ministry is about the fact that people don't feel like they're enough. And he's like, I totally don't relate with that. I've never felt that way. And I was like, wow, because I counsel all day people that do feel that way. And I guess I finally picked a healthy human being that doesn't feel like crap about himself, which is good. That was an achievement. I'd overcome some shadows there. God bless it. And he helps me stay in that powerful, beautiful place. But beneath every social mask we wear every day, we have a hidden shadow side. It's an impulsive, wounded, sad, or isolated part that we generally try to ignore. The shadow can be a source of emotional richness and vitality, and acknowledging it can be a pathway to healing and an authentic life. So, you know, you've ever seen, there used to be magnets that would be sold or bumper stickers, and it would show a big tunnel, and it would say, if you're going through hell, keep going. I love that statement, because it's so true. If you've ever had a loss in your life, or you've been through a massive breakup, you know that feeling where you'll just kind of stop in the middle, and you just sit in the stagnation, because you feel like you're so afraid if you keep moving through the pain, you're going to die. That's basically like, I'm going to stop breathing, I'm going to die. You know, until we've actually gone through a massive situation, we don't trust God, and then once we do, we realize, wow, I could have moved through that a lot faster if I had been more honest with myself, right? So, you know, when I was in my early 30s, which many of you know this, and you probably wonder, why do I bring this up? I lost my son, Luca. And I bring him up because he was the catalyst of my spiritual awakening. And I was on a spiritual path my entire life. I grew up in Unity. I went to Sunday school, 2 services every Sunday since I was born, right? So if there is a separate heaven, I am going, okay? And, which we don't believe in, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Nobody's counting, I guess. However, that situation broke my heart in every piece that I had. Everything about me was broken from that experience. And so what it caused for me to do was I had no more mask to hide behind, because the mask that I wore, which I already worked here, I was, I think, the administrator. No, I was doing some ministry stuff. I lived this practice. I practiced meditation. I did all of it. But I still didn't have that default to be able to pray through this. I was so broken, I didn't want to live. That's the kind of broken. I was brought to my knees. I couldn't face how I was going to do this life without this child. And I no longer had the need to please people. It just took it away. It was the first time I wasn't there to make everybody else happy. I couldn't make anybody else happy because I was devastated. I couldn't make myself happy either, but I just couldn't play the game anymore. Any mask that I had, which was, I'm happy at all costs, I'm here for you at all costs, I don't get sad, I don't get angry, I don't do all these things, I'm just everybody's best friend, and I'm this, puppet, right? All of that disappeared. It all went down in the toilet. I didn't want to put makeup on. I didn't care what I looked like. Everything that I thought that I was falling away from me. And it wasn't just the child passing away. What it did was, it broke my heart so much so that everything that had broken my heart to that point came to the surface. See, this is usually when the awakening happens for people. I mean, some people find light just because they are light, and that's a blessing, and I've met people like that, and they're just angels this lifetime. But most of us find light through our darkness. That shadow is so, so important to be faced, to be able to find that beautiful illumination of who you are and what you are and why you're here in the first place. And what my son gave me was my tears. I cried and 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 I cried. And every time I was crying, I recognized that there was an ex-boyfriend that had broken my heart. I realized there was a friend that had just done something so unbelievably awful when I was 18. It was like everything that I said was okay all those years was not okay. I'd been living in a lie, talking to myself saying, it's all okay, it's all okay. And really what it was being done was being stuffed into cell memory through my system. And so I was full of BS in my interactions with people. I didn't know that I was until my heart was broken. And I had to feel every single thing that I denied myself to feeling all those years. So it wasn't just the loss of the child, it was the loss of every relationship, every sting, every single thing that I said was okay, and I let people treat me, and I let people do things, and I let people do that because I didn't love myself. I let people lie to me, and I wouldn't call them on it. I let people talk behind my back in a way that you can't even imagine, and I wouldn't call them on it. Because I didn't think I was worth enough to stand up and say, you know what? I'm a beautiful child of God, and so are you. Let's talk about this. That falling away. And then before I knew it, a joy started to come into my life. Because I was going through that hell, and I was going through that hell, and I kept going. I wasn't going to hide from myself in this one. I was going to let this be the catalyst of my life. I knew this was the catalyst of my life, because if not, it was going to kill me anyway. So was I afraid that I was going to die? It was killing me. I was already dying. What's the best thing that could happen here? I actually find a life that will fulfill me for the rest of my life, a joy that could be the light to this hardship and darkness. Why do we want to live behind the veil of limitation? What is the attracting quality that when our friends get together with us, if they're not our Unity friends, and even if they are your Unity friends, that the first thing that we talk about is what's limited in our life instead of what's outstanding? Even if that's this big and what's limited is this big, as far as our consciousness or our ego is saying. What if we could change the language and the thought process around what's happening in our life to sharing what's excellent? And if you don't have something nice to say, what do you do? Don't say anything at all. That's a lot easier said than done, right? Have you ever tried just to not talk about something negative for an entire day? Do everybody a huge favor and try that. Could you call your mom or your sister or your daughter or your child and you say, how are you doing? And when they say, even if you're like, just lost your job, I am doing awesome. Right? When's the last time, like when you think about little children, like, you know, the whole Bible is all about renewing your consciousness, coming to see through the eyes of God, lifting through. What can God move through you? We come in as spiritual beings. We're human second, right? So we're already enlightened beings just through the gate into life, right? So you look at babies, and if you ever see a child smile, like a real baby, before it's been, you know, touched by the world or whatever, not spoiled by, you know, whatever, that just crystal, that face, that smile that just lights your heart up in a way that we so very see, very little do we see it in adult faces. You know, when you walk towards your baby and they're like 1 year old and their whole body's like, yeah! Yes! When's the last time you've done that? Yeah! Try it. I mean, maybe not when people are looking, but try it. Get in those mountains and feel that feeling, because just doing that, I did it the first service, I feel like that little child, like wonder, like, oh, I can't wait to see what's going to happen. I can't wait. It lifts something. It gets you stoked. You don't need to know what you need to be stoked about. You just get into the presence of stokedness, and then we attract what to be stoked about. Has anybody ever been in like a toxic relationship, and then looking back on that relationship, it could be a friendship, it could be a lover, it could be whatever, it could even be a parent if it was really an unhealthy relationship, and then looking back in hindsight, you wonder why it took you so long to leave it? Who has had that experience? Where you look back and you go, you know what, I could have left that like 10 years before, or 2 years before, or 5. And we wonder why, you know, now in that clarity, because we finally left it, we cut that tie to that toxic energy. That thing we thought was love, but was actually codependency, or, you know, just not loving ourselves enough to give us what we want. I want to read this really great quote from the book Eye of the Storm, which is actually it's a book we have to take in school to become ministers. It's all about the shadow work. And we do sell this book, and if you would like to do some healing in your shadow, this is an amazing book to be an advocate in your life to really help you through it all. The first step in discovering wholeness is in seeing the distinction between you and your experiences. You have experiences, but you are not your experiences. You make the mistake of seeing your experiences as your parts, like hands and feet. You have body parts, but your body parts don't have you. The reason why wholeness seems so elusive is that you base your sense of well-being and worth on what is happening or not happening to you. You confuse your experiences with yourself. You think you are not whole based upon how your life looks and feels. This keeps you looking in the wrong places for a wholeness that can only be experienced as an attribute of authentic being in the act of conscious doing. You confuse your experiences with yourself. You think you are not whole based upon how your life looks and feels. This is really powerful stuff right here, especially if you're sitting here today and you're facing a challenge. Because this thing that's taking your peace away right now in your life, if it's your job, if it's your boss, if it's your mom, if it's your child, you realize that that circumstance is not you. That is a circumstance. And your wholeness dictates your peace. Your sense that you are a child of God, made in the image and likeness of God. You are perfect now. You've always been perfect. There's nothing missing in you. And this someday that we're going to attain something, and then finally we'll accept ourselves, or we'll finally love ourselves, or we'll finally show our true selves, doesn't exist. You are whole, right here, right now. And the more you can be honest about how you feel about yourself, face the places where you have shame, face the places where you have guilt. It's all an illusion. But those two things are dictating your joy, your health, your life, your abundance, your every single thing. And when you can discover it, find the person you trust and be vulnerable enough to say, this is how I feel about myself. Someone that loves you and cares about you. So they can say, no, this is how I see who you are. You're the most beautiful human being I've ever met. You're the most thoughtful, kind, and caring human being. You are the heart that I look forward to talking to. You are everything. You are loved. You are seen. You are blessed. You are my friend. You are my mother. You are my sister. You are my father. You are my brother. But then we have the battle of the words that comes back up. When we're trying to make a big decision, trying to get a new job, trying to find a new relationship, and we're going, I do deserve to be loved and have, attract the man of my dreams or a woman of my dreams. I do deserve to have a career that I love. That's not work because I love it so much. I do deserve these things. But then you get to the job interview and all of a sudden the voice is going, but you don't deserve this. Look at all those young kids. You're too old. Who are you to think that you could get that job? You're out of shape. You haven't taken care of yourself. We just, it's that voice. It's that monkey chatter that wants to talk you out of it. And this is a very important point too. You got to get rid of the critic, man. You got to find who is the critic that started that kind of a chatter. Everybody can identify that person. My daughter, while I was writing this sermon this week, my 10-year-old daughter, I got divorced from her father when she was like 4. And she tends to go to food to deal with her stresses. And I'm working on that with her all the time. How do you word it? Healthfulness. I just want you to live a long life. I want you to be healthy. I want you to do this, this, and this, and this. And the other day she said, "You called me fat." I was like, I would never. And it broke my heart. You know, it's like my heart just dropped in my stomach. It was like, how many words can you say for healthfulness? And I want you to have a great life, and I want you to feel beautiful, and I want you to dance, and I want you to hike, and I want you to have the ability to do every single thing that you want to do. And I sat down on the couch with her. I had to calm down because it really affected me. And I said to her, I would never want to be the voice that's in your head that says that you're anything less than perfect. I don't know who said that to you, but I would never say that to you. Nobody sees you the way I see you. You're my everything. I don't want to ever be that voice for your beautiful heart. I want to read this. Theodore Roosevelt says it this way. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the person, I'd rather write, who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the fail, something says between this, fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. This is about jumping in the fire, man. This is about being brave, putting your helmet on and going, I do want my life. And I do want it abundantly. I want to know and feel this love of God. I want to know that I am a vehicle of your love, God. I know that I'm a vehicle of your love, God. And anybody that's told me something different, I forgive you. And I forgive myself for allowing myself to believe what this person has said as well. And that's the way I see it. Love you. We will take an offering for Unity now. So I want you to know that in 2 weeks, we'll be doing a service with Jack, Shad, and I leading it. You'll be welcome back Sunday. If you have children or teenagers that could use this message to empower them and really get them ready to go out in the world and know that they are perfect just the way they are, it's really a good time to start kids is the very first day because it's very welcoming, it's really fun. They know how to make the kids with trust exercises and stuff to make them really feel invited. If you have friends with children that are struggling, please invite them on August 26th. The Sunday school and the youth department changed my life and has changed my children's lives. So with that said, let's take our offerings in our hands and bless it with this offering statement. Divine love is my true life and my conscious destiny. Therefore, I give. Together, please. Divine love is my true life and my conscious destiny. Therefore, I give. Chance to listen to Erna and the band.
song is about self-love. Put your makeup on, get your nails done, curl your hair, run the extra mile, keep it slim so they like you. Do they like you? Get your sexy on, don't be shy, girl, show it off. This is what you want to belong, so they like you. Do you like you? You don't have to try so hard. You don't have to give it all away. You just have to get up, get up, get up, get up. You don't have to change a single thing. You don't have to try, 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 try. You don't have to try, 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 try. You don't have to try, 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 try. You don't have to try. You don't have to try. Get your shopping on at the mall, max your credit cards. You don't have to choose, buy it all, so they like you. Do they like you? Wait a second, why should you care what they think of you when you're all alone by yourself? Do you like you? Do you like you? You don't have to try so hard. You don't have to give it all away. You just have to get up, get up, get up, get up. You don't have to change a single thing. You don't have to try so hard. You don't have to bend until you break. You just have to get up, get up, get up, get up. You don't have to change a single thing. You don't have to try, 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 try. You don't have to try, 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 try. You don't have to try, 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 try. You don't have to try. You don't have to try, 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 try. You don't have to try, 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 try. You don't have to try, 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 try. You don't have to try. You don't have to You don't have to try so hard. You don't have to give it all away. You just have to get up, get up, get up, get up. You don't have to change a single thing. You don't have to try, 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 try. You don't have to try, 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 try. You don't have to try, 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 try. You don't have to try. Take your makeup off, let your hair down, take a breath. Look into the mirror at yourself. Do you like you? 'Cause I like you.
Okay, this is the point in the service we want to recognize anybody that's visiting us for the first time. If you are, you can just put your hands up, and we have a gift for you from our ushers with information about upcoming events. And then we also have our fellowship afterwards where the ministers would love to meet you, my brother, myself, and Jack, food and everything. And then we have CDs and DVDs of the talk on this side in the bookstore. Let's all rise and close with a closing benediction.
Let me walk with my family.
Now tell someone how much you love them too.